This is about staying in a hospital. I've come up with a few plans for world peace before this. They were, I think, decent plans, operational plans, shovel-ready as it were, but we still don't have world peace. Unlike the others, maybe my latest plan will be considered for implementation. I think it deserves a shot. My new notion came to me because I've been spending quite a bit of time in a hospital lately as a visitor. We, humanity I mean, all of us, the largest aggregation of we live in nations, and all the nations are run by a leader of one kind or another. And some of these leaders, people will disagree as to the exact percentage, some of them are egomaniacs or lunatics or the kind of people who need vast amounts of attention and praise. The kind of people, I mean to say, who will give little or no thought to declaring war, shooting off missiles, employing chemical, biological, or nuclear weapons. So that's a very pressing, very real problem. Peace ain't going to happen in that world. Devastation will. I think the problem comes down to this. If we want peace, if we think that peace on this planet is possible and not an unattainable ideal, like the perfect society, utopia, nowhere, then we must find a way to change our leaders, or at the very least change the hearts and minds of the ones we've got. And while sitting for long hours in a hospital, I believe I hatched a solution that would produce tremendous and immediate results, namely, world peace. Here it is. From this day forth, I'm trying to make this sound like a proclamation, the leaders of every nation on earth must be patients in a hospital. If you're not confined to a hospital bed for some reason of poor health, then you can't be the leader of a country. How would this help? First of all, simply being that sick so as to require hospitalization, it knocks the stuffing right out of you. Your perspective on everything changes. Your priorities change. You're no longer an number one cock-of-the-walk big shot. Maybe you can't get up to walk to the bathroom unassisted. You're certainly in no shape to declare war. You have to fill out a ton of paperwork, essentially signing your life away, and every time anyone does anything for you, they hold up a scanner to a band around your wrist, and the scanner beeps, and you can picture an itemized bill 2.5 feet long, and you wonder how you're ever going to pay for this. There are tubes sticking into you everywhere. I would insist that all males have their penises catheterized. That's a real caution. You're hooked up to a bunch of machines and drips, and if you can walk, they have to roll all this equipment around with you, the hospital parade. You tire easily. You have to wear a hospital gown. I'll go out on a limb, a fairly sturdy limb, I think, and say that no one in a hospital gown, yeah, they call it a gown, has ever gone to war with another country. You're too busy worrying if someone can see your bare butt. You have to eat hospital food. In some places it's not that bad, but at its best it's an overcooked, unsalted, tasteless glop. When you can't tell if you're eating roast beef, grits, carrots, or vanilla pudding, then you know you're eating hospital food. When you eat like this, the aggressiveness just leaches out of you. It's impossible to even think about war in a situation like this. Every bone aches from laying in the hard hospital bed. If you ever do manage to fall asleep, a nurse comes in at 4 in the morning and pricks your finger for a blood sample. You're peeing into a bag, and you're asked 5 times each day if you've had a bowel movement. They just called a code blue on the person in the next room. If you need anything, you can ring for it, but the nurses are very busy, and it might take 20 minutes for someone to come. They knock, walk in the room, ask what they can do for you, and you can't remember why you rang. There is also the high mortality rate among hospital patients. The high turnover in world leaders would definitely lessen the chances for global conflict. I say again, if you're in a hospital, you're in no condition to be going to war. If hospital patients were leading our nations, I'm certain there would be peace in the world.